Nah, the Chiefs beat the absolute brakes off the Bears at Arrowhead Stadium yesterday, with every running back scoring at least one touchdown, as well as the greatest tight end in the game, Travis Kelce, who may or may not have impressed a megastar in attendance along the way. So let's talk about it, but first, how about those? Finally, the Chiefs had a rather non-stressful game, that is, until Mahomes got his ankle tweaked and was seen limping around on the field in visible pain, which is a buzzkill to me at least, and probably to many of you, but more on that in a bit, because it's worth noting that Mahomes went 24 of 33 for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns against the team that he thought was going to draft him. Thank God they didn't. And during this game, Mahomes officially threw for over 25,000 yards passing, doing it in just 83 games, which beats the record by 7 games previously held by Matthew Stafford. Mahomes also had his 22nd game with 3 TD passes and no INTs, tying Aaron Rodgers for the most by a QB before turning 30, and Mahomes just turned 28, by the way, though I think Rodgers started a little bit later in his career. And then Travis Kelce scored a touchdown in the third quarter on yet another improvised route that allowed Mahomes to find it for 6, and with that touchdown, Kelce now has 74 total TDs as a Chief and only needs 3 more to pass up the legend Tony Gonzalez, which would move Kelce into second place for the most touchdowns in franchise history, only behind the great running back Priest Holmes. On top of that, after yesterday's W, Andy Reid now has 271 wins as a head coach, passing Hall of Fame coach Tom Landry into 4th place on the career wins list. And I say all that to say this. Please enjoy these things, guys, because we are all watching greatness unfold before our very pupils and are truly in the golden era of Chiefs Kingdom without a shadow of a doubt. Next up, I gotta thank the delicious sponsor of today's video, Good Chop. When it comes to food, me and my family are huge on protein as the main source of every meal, and that's why Good Chop is something we are massive fans of. They deliver customizable boxes full of beef, chicken, seafood, and or pork products that's exclusively sourced from American farms and fisheries. That's right, they support local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the US, and once you order, they'll ship it straight to your front door via a convenient, contact-free delivery in a box that keeps the food fresh, and this allows you to skip the lines at grocery stores and trust that the quality of cuts coming your way is still top-notch. Good Chop prides itself on sourcing beef that comes with no antibiotics or added hormones ever, and with over 60+ high-quality cuts to choose from, there's definitely something for everyone. From well-marbled Angus USDA choice and prime cuts, 100% grass-fed filet mignon, to wild-caught salmon and shrimp, and even thick-cut bacon that my girls thoroughly enjoyed. Basically, the list is long and, again, fully customizable to suit your preferences. On top of that, Good Chop believes in their quality so much that they offer a 100% money-back guarantee. You either love Good Chop or get your money back. But we personally enjoyed everything that arrived. The boneless, skinless chicken breasts were fire and perfect for our chicken salads. The wild-caught sockeye salmon that my wife pan-seared was the best lunch. And then with thunderstorms going on outside, we had to cook the New York strips and ribeye steaks on our stove, but we're still able to get a great sear, and the marbling in the steaks kept them juicy, and sheesh, they tasted absolutely incredible alongside the wild-caught Gulf shrimp. And to get your box of customized, high-quality American meat and seafood, go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code HBTC120, or click the link in the description down below to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes today. Again, just go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code HBTC120 to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. All right, let's dive into this game recap. On the opening drive of the game, Mahomes was able to extend the play per usual and find Travis Kelce on a routine pat to Trav freelance. However, on the next 3rd down, Rashee Rice had a bit of a miscue with Mahomes, which resulted in a tough to make catch that bounced off his hands and was nearly picked off. And that brought out the punt team for the Chiefs' one and only punt of the entire game. I mean, they threw a couple picks later with Blaine Gabbert. We'll get into that. But it was their only punt of the game, and after this, the Chiefs then scored on the next 7 possessions, 5 of them touchdowns, which is what we've come to expect about the Chiefs and their high-powered offense over the years. Mike Dana then nearly got to Fields on the Bears' following drive, doing enough, though, to allow others to wrap Fields up, and therefore, the Bears punted for the first time of 5 total on the day. Pacheco then channeled his inner Jerick McKinnon on this play, picking up the blitz, which gave Mahomes enough time to once again find Travis for the first down and more. Sky Moore, speaking of Moore, then caught a great pass over the middle of the field, which helped set up this Mahomes scramble for a first down, and then the first of 2 McKinnon touchdowns on an option play where Mahomes could have either passed the ball off to Sky on a jet sweep or flick it to Jet. And to the Jet, he did indeed flick it. A great play call and nice execution on that drive overall. Fields was able to show off some of his running abilities early on the next drive, but it mattered not because Stone Cold Jones, the CEO of Sack Nation himself, brought Fields down onto the field on third down, and the Chiefs once again took advantage of the Bears' second punt. They faced a short 3rd and 2 here, but what does Patrick Mahomes do in these situations? He looks around for his safety valve and El Travador for an easy 15 yards. Another positive of the Chiefs' offense in this game was getting the run game moving early on, as Pacheco shot out like a cannon up the left side for 18 quick ones. Pacheco wasn't the only running back who had a day either, as McKinnon was used frequently in the passing game, such as this play on third down, as well as his second TD of the game that we'll touch on here soon. And speaking of touchdowns, Rashee Rice seems to only be stopped by 2 things in life: either his own drops or the 1-yard line, because twice in this game he got right near the goal line that looked initially to be touchdowns, but not quite far enough for it to count. Have no fear though, because CEH is here running in for a short touchdown, his first of the season and the only of the day, but he did rush 15 times for 55 yards and caught a pass for a couple more yards on top of that. And then after an embarrassing Bears 5-play drive resulting in another punt, Mahomes then led the team on a wild 11-play 88-yard drive that included this beautiful throw from Mahomes on a freaking rope to Justin Watson for 37 yards. Justin Watson, once again, coming in clutch with a great snag down the right sideline, and Mahomes once again makes these insane throws look really freaking easy. After that, a little trickery ensued as Mahomes pitched a ball to McKinnon, who then threw it back to Pat on the other side of the field, but he had to check it down to Noah Gray instead of the deep option, which resulted in Gray taking a hell of a hit. Pacheco then got several more carries. A screen pass carrying Bears defenders on his back all along the way to set the Chiefs up near the goal line, and McKinnon then finished the job for his 2nd touchdown of the day. And with that score, that marked McKinnon's 7th multi-touchdown game, his 4th since last season, and only 4 players have more multi-TD games than McKinnon, which includes heavy hitters like Austin Eckler and Devontae Adams. Basically, McKinnon is a dog. Anyway, the Chiefs offense was going to get the ball right back on this play here as Trent McDuffie forced yet another fumble. He did that week 1 against the Lions as well. And then Willie Gay Jr. jumped on that ball to help gift it back to KC to help make it 24-0 with roughly 2 minutes left to go in the half. And then just 2 plays later, Justin Reid tipped this Justin Fields pass up into the air, and the ball hawk himself, the former Bucs safety Mike Edwards, picked the ball off, which helped set up another short field for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice then once again got beat by the 1-yard line, though all jokes aside, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Rice and how he's being used in the middle of the field. Just gotta clean up the drops. Pacheco then carried the ball in himself on a short run, which officially meant all 3 running backs scored at least 1 touchdown in the first half alone. The Bears then did what they do best, going 3 and out, giving the Chiefs the ball right back, and this is where things get a little bit crazy. All appeared to be fine and dandy as the Chiefs aimed to get more points on the board via this Mahomes scramble up the right sideline before halftime with approximately 30 seconds left. But it's all good because Mahomes then connected with MVS on a broken 50-yard bomb for a touchdown, and the result is Chiefs 38, Bears 0 at half, right? Well, no, because Jawan Taylor is alive and breathing, and the refs hate the fact that he even exists. Therefore, of course he was flagged for a phantom illegal formation penalty that not only negated the touchdown, but resulted in Mahomes spraining his ankle on the very next play after a 14-yard connection with Justin Watson, and Yannick Ngakoue rolled into Mahomes' ankle, which turned it awkwardly and instantly put Mahomes into a visibly pained limp. He was able to finish the drive, Butker hit another field goal, then making it 34-0 at halftime, which was great. Woo. But how great is it really if Mahomes' ankle that he sprained last postseason and fought all offseason long to rehab back to health is once again re-aggravated only 3 weeks into the regular season? Well, it does appear to be less aggravated than that, but we'll get there. Hold on. After this tackle by Snead on third down on the Bears' opening drive of the second half, Mahomes came out with his ankles wrapped and proved all doubters wrong because he drove down the field 64 yards in 11 plays that included a big 36-yard pass to MVS. Then on third down, Sky Moore caught a nice pass here to move the chains, and Travis Kelce helped seal the deal, scoring another touchdown, and then enters megastar Taylor Swift herself, who was talked about on and off all game long because she was sitting in Travis Kelce's suite with Mama Kelce cheering him on, banging on the glass, and even screaming, "Let's effing go," after Kelce scored that touchdown, which basically confirms to me that there's something going on between the two, and the rumors were true at least to some extent. They could even be seen leaving the stadium together and driving around town in Kelce's car afterwards. So yay! I'm happy for the couple. Maybe, if that's what they are. Either way, it was definitely a highly talked about subject with lots of funny memes and jokes all over social media. And then Andy Reid claimed that he is the one that set them both up.
You know what? I've met her before. Adam, I set him up. I just leave you with it.
Anyway, speaking of Taylor, I think I'm going to do a dedicated video tomorrow covering Jawan Taylor's illegal formation issues in depth, but it's safe to say that both Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are not happy about the flags Jawan Taylor keeps getting thrown his way because it's BS and it's not an illegal formation issue. They both said they looked at the film and don't see an issue with him because they've already made an effort to fix it, which is a damn shame due to the fact that Mahomes' ankle got re-injured in some capacity because of the refs and that stupid phantom call on Taylor, which negated the MVS touchdown. I just explained it, but it still fires me up. Anyway, let's move along swiftly here, like what I did there, and talk more about Mahomes' ankle and other injuries after I touch on the rest of the game. Basically, after Travis Kelce scored, most of the starters that could be pulled were pulled, and Blaine Gabbert then led the charge, throwing a god-awful interception on the first drive and then another interception on the next drive. However, this one was 100% on Rashee Rice as it bounced right off the numbers. Please work on that. The game was beyond over though, and when Mahomes and company exited the game, the score was 41-0, and the game ended 41-10 with the Bears getting a garbage time touchdown and field goal. Woo! On a serious note, the Bears might be the worst team in the NFL, so while I'm excited about this easy W, I'm ready to see the Chiefs offense go against a more formidable defense, which could very well be next week against the Jets. Sure, Zach Wilson sucks at football and is unworthy of even being a water boy on the Jets sideline, but they do have a pretty good defense. Anyway, before I look too far ahead into the future, I gotta shout out the Chiefs defense once again, because with them only allowing 1 touchdown against the Bears, that means they've only allowed 3 total touchdowns all season, which is currently 3rd best in the league in TDs allowed, and they are currently the number 4 scoring defense in the NFL, allowing just 13.3 points per game. Freaking incredible. And then I gotta shout out Trent McDuffie, who is playing out of his mind. He's currently the highest graded cornerback in the entire NFL and is the only cornerback in the league with 2 games recording an 80+ grade in PFF this season. On top of that, I thought Drew Tranquill played a hell of a game in Nick Bolton's absence. Chris Jones looked dominant again. Dana had some nice reps, as did George and FAU, and I like to see Willie Gay out there getting the job done as well, though I know he's battling through a bit of an injury himself. And on top of all that, Charles Omenihu is still suspended and will be added back into the rotation here in roughly a month. So yeah, lots of great things from the defense as they allowed the Bears to barely put up over 200 total yards, held them to 4 of 12 on 3rd downs, and 1 for 2 in the red zone. It was a dominant performance all the way around all phases of the ball, with the Chiefs offense putting up 27 points in the second quarter alone. They went 10 for 14 on 3rd downs, put up 456 total yards, went 5 for 5 in the red zone. I like that. And dominated the time of possession with a total of 36 minutes compared to the Bears' 23. Kelce was the leading receiver with Rashee Rice close behind, and Rice probably would have led the day had he not dropped those couple of passes. On top of that, the Chiefs rushed for over 150 yards, and get this, Pacheco averaged over 7 yards a carry in the first half, which was insane. And again, all 3 running backs scored at least 1 touchdown. And then we can't forget about special teams, because with the announcement over the weekend that the Chiefs were placing wide receiver Richie James on IR as he deals with an MCL injury that he sustained week 2 against the Jags, which means, by the way, Richie will miss at least the next 4 games. But that does mean wide receiver Montrell Washington was called up from the practice squad and did a great job in the return game overall. And in case you're over here like, who the f is that guy? He was somebody the Chiefs signed to their practice squad after roster cutdowns, signing him away from the Broncos after he spent the entire 2022 season returning for Denver, returning 32 punts for 271 yards, as well as some kick returns. And with Richie out, that means Montrell was in, and he averaged 11 yards a return back there for punts and looked the best out there of anyone so far this season. And Andy Reid noted that as long as Richie James is out, it's looking like Montrell is going to be their return guy. On top of that, Butker is 5 for 5 on field goals this season and hasn't missed an extra point. Townsend is a dog, and there's lots of positives about the special teams unit as a whole. Now, the not so positives, let's talk injuries. Prince Tega Wanogho is the only player officially injured as he got hurt filling in for Donovan Smith, who actually left the game with some sort of injury himself. But Prince ended up getting ruled out of the game with a left quad issue, and Donovan Smith had to return to finish the game after Prince left. But Donovan looked pretty good out there. though there's something going on with him. We just don't know quite yet. Next up, Joshua Williams took a hit to the head by Brian Cook via some accidental friendly fire on a play. And even though I talked about Donovan Smith and Josh Williams, Andy Reid noted that everybody else aside from Prince, quote, finished the game and did okay. However, he hasn't yet spoke to Rick Burkholder, which is what he said this morning during his presser, and he does that on purpose, so he doesn't have to tell us until later in the week about any updated injuries from the game. So we may find more guys pop up on the list come this Wednesday. Now, regarding Mahomes' ankle, Andy Reid spoke to the media this morning saying, quote, this was more of what we call a basketball sprain and felt comfortable afterwards with it. He's probably going to be a little stiff today, but he was good to go, meaning he could have continued playing the game after Chicago if it wasn't a blowout. And when Mahomes was asked about his ankle last night, here's what he had to say about it.
Yeah, I made it fine. I would have been fine to play the rest of the game. If anything, it kind of scared me more just being that ankle. And so it scared me a little bit more. We taped it up and then I was able to go.
So Andy and Patrick are both downplaying the quote unquote basketball sprain. And I hope it is indeed just a minor tweak. Please, regardless, it is still a scary thing to see, and that's where I want to get your thoughts on the situation in Mahomes' ankle. Are you a bit nervous about it, considering it was the same ankle he injured last postseason, or nah, he's going to be just fine? And then you got to let me know your biggest positive and negative takeaways from this game, even though they played one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Bears. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?